Hey, all you lovely couples out there. Coach Kat coming to you to talk about MAFS, Married at First Sight. I really wanted to start talking about the couple situations, any arguments that they get in, any hassles that they have within their relationship, and dissect them and really give you the tools in the ways to overcome that if those particular situations happen within your relationship. So I really wanted to firstly discuss the incident that happened with Ning and Mark on their date to the gym. Now, first and foremost, it really does appear after watching it that they didn't get the clarity on what the end result of that date was to be. I feel that Ming felt it was going to be fun, it was going to be a way to connect, and I felt for Mark it was a way for him to show his professionalism, what he does and what he's very passionate about. And just with those mixed ideas of the outcome, it really did cause a little bit of havoc within the relationship. When you watch that particular show and you see the two of them, you can see that Mark goes in and he's focused and he's driven, and there's nothing wrong with that because that's his passion and he wants to show Ning what he does for a living and he's very proud of that. However, Ning had a different idea on going on that date. It was about being fun, showing her playful side, being able to connect with him. So already they were like, that date was in trouble from the start, from the get-go, because at the end of the day, they announced before they went on the date, and these were their exact words on the show, was to go to the gym was the need to release intimacy, the intimacy drought. So with bearing that in mind, I would automatically think that it was going to be more of fun. It was going to be a bit of, toing and froing between the two of them, a bit of flirting, a bit of everything. However, that's not exactly the way it played out. So, with Ning mucking around and she was doing handstands and not taking things so seriously, it really did aggravate Mark because he wasn't picking up on her body language and really understanding why Ning wasn't being serious about it, because he was. And so he got a little bit frustrated and there was some, not so nice words come out of that. And an example, I'm just reading a few of the notes that I wrote down, was, stop effing around. Don't need to talk so much. If you're talking so much, you're not working hard. Whatever. Now, just in those, it already gets Ning on the back foot. And look, all what I'm going to share with you is not about a blame game. I don't play the blame game. It's not Mark's fault. It's not Ning's fault. What it is about they don't have the tools and the understanding of what it is to effectively communicate, the language that we use, to effectively listen. They don't understand what body language, the tone in which we speak. There's all of these skills that we all need to learn, and none of us have learnt from school because there's no such manual, okay? So all of what I'm going to share with you, it's not about blame. It's all about identifying the why. Why that date ended up the way it ended up, where they ended up arguing. And so it's about looking at both of them. And at the end of the day, they didn't know what they don't know. So Mark didn't pick up that Ning wanted to have fun. He didn't pick up on her tone. He didn't pick up on her body language. And for that matter, neither did Ning. Ning didn't pick up that Mark was serious. So that already has caused conflict between them. Ning was being playful, mucking around, and there's nothing wrong with that. However, Mark wasn't picking up. So really, in essence, that whole date was just boiled down to lack of communication and no clarity on what their outcome they wanted from that date. If it was combined and in the middle of that, Mark could have stayed calm and asked her, said, Ning, I really take this seriously, and I feel that you're mucking around. If you want to muck around, that's fine, let's do that. But there was no middle ground. There was no conversing. There was no gaining clarity on what each other wanted during the whole date. They just allowed ego to come into play and went, well, I want this and I want that. So they made it about themselves. It wasn't about each other. And this is what so many couples do. Everything they do is for them within the relationship. And that's not how a relationship is successful. A relationship only works when you make everything you do about your spouse. Now, this is not to say that you don't care for yourself first and foremost, okay? Before anyone misunderstands what I'm sharing with you. At the end of the day, it came down and Ning really did clear and specify when it got heated and she got upset and she walked out, was saying to Mark, "You're not hearing me." Let me share with you, that is the most common thing I hear from couples, is they don't listen, they're not hearing me. And the reason for this is that we don't have the effective listening skills. Now, effective listening is listening to understand how the other person is feeling. It is not listening to respond. And that's what the majority of our culture do. We all listen to have a bloody opinion, or we all listen to say what we think, or we all listen to say how we feel. Not for one moment taking into consideration and just listening to what the other person is sharing. So stop and listen to what the other person is sharing so you understand how they feel. Because as Mark felt, he said, "I didn't do anything wrong and I'm not going to apologize." But you know what? He didn't need to apologize. It wasn't about apologizing. All as Ning was asking was to hear how upset she was. That she went into it looking as it for fun and he went into it too seriously. So neither of them were wrong. But without effective communication and effective listening, you can see just from that episode and what had transpired between the two of them, how it plays out. So moving forward, if you ever come into that situation within your relationship, take a moment. And for the ladies out there, really listen to what your spouse, your partner, your husband is sharing with you. Zip the mouth and just listen to understand. And for the men, do the same. Listen to understand. You don't necessarily have to get it, okay? It's not about getting it. And if you don't get it, just say, "Look, I'm not really sure I understand," but just still respect it. Because respect plays such a massive part as well. And when you really boil down to the core and you keep that respect for one another, it's amazing how just understanding, you just understand. Whether you do or you don't, because it's out of respect. So I hope that gives you a bit of an insight into what had transpired between Ning and Mark and how they could have resolved it purely by just listening. And no need for apologies. Leave ego at the door because it doesn't serve you. So till next time, I look forward to sharing my recap of MAFS. So if you have any questions or any circumstances within your relationship you would love to get some clarity on, or how you could have received a positive outcome, then please by all means put it in the comment section and I'm more than happy to do a video on it to give you those tools that you need in order to have a successful relationship. So take care. Till next time, Coach Kat out. See you later.